Welcome back to Algebra, and what we're going to talk about now that we've covered some of the basics is we're going to move into solving systems of equations by graphing. And I don't know, graphing, that's just everybody's favorite thing to do for some reason, and that might be just a little bit of sarcasm, but maybe it's because sometimes we don't like to do things that we struggle with, so we're going to practice doing some graphing along the way, but we're looking at students being able to solve systems of two-variable linear equations graphically, classify systems of two-variable equations as dependent, independent, consistent, or inconsistent, and then of course solve systems of two-variable linear inequalities. Okay, two-variable, that means you're looking at what we would normally associate to two variables of x and y in an equation of a line. So that's what we're going to be working on, these systems. And I guess when we talk about the definitions here, a consistent system, if you remember, quickly put, a system, when we graph a system, it's, we have these two lines intersecting, and the intersection point is going to be its solution, which I guess the solution of a system is where they intersect. And the consistent solution, I would assume consistency is that I do have a solution. It's going to have one or infinite number of solutions. A inconsistent solution or inconsistent system does not have a solution. So again, when I'm looking for a solution to a systems of equations, I'm expecting them to have some intersection point or solution. If they do not have a solution, then that would be an inconsistent system. A dependent system, let's see, a system that has infinite solutions. And we're going to talk about that later, but I would say it has an infinite solution because it's the same line and it's dependent on itself to be the same line. Or an independent system is just a system that has exactly one solution. They are independent of each other. It doesn't matter. This line and this line are independent. We know that they're going to cross somewhere. So therein lies my solution. So as we move, we talk about the number of solutions. So we have, usually when we have a intersection, right, we have two lines that intersect, that is going to be one solution because that's where they cross over. If we have two lines that are parallel, which means they have the same slope, then that is a no solution because they are running next to each other and they never intersect. And this, of course, was one solution. And then the next thing we have infinite solutions. And I have one line, and then the next line is graphed right over it because they are the same line, and that is when I have infinite solutions because they overlap or they intersect for infinity in both directions. So again, a consistent solution a consistent system has a solution. It either has one solution or it has infinite solutions. A inconsistent system is parallel because they never connect. A dependent system is going to be when they have infinite solutions because the dependency there is that they're the same equation of a line. Independent solution just means that they intersect somewhere, so they're not parallel lines or the same line. And then the solution of a system, of course, is just where they intersect. So as we look forward, where it's easier to graph, starting at your y-intercept and then working your slope. Remembering that, of course, greater than or equal to or less than or equal to are going to be solid lines. And so any solutions that fall on a solid line are also part of the solution set. And again, looking here at the number of solutions, I have intersection of one solution, no intersection because they're parallel is no solution, or infinite solutions is when two lines turn out to be identical because they're touching each other for infinity. And with that, let's go ahead and do some of this graphing and look at some of these images and figure out if we can see the solutions or not. And we talk about those, remember, classifying systems. A inconsistent system is going to be something that is parallel because there is no overlap. So an example might be y equals 2x plus 1, a system, and then 2y equals 4x plus 2. Those, those have two different y-intercepts when we end up solving for it. So if we divide by 2 to get y by itself, we would end up with y equals 2x plus 1/2. So they do have the same slope here, but they have the different y-intercepts, so that places them to be parallel. So parallel lines are inconsistent. And then when they're consistent, we have either the one intersection or you have two lines sitting on top of each other, and that is a consistent because it has an infinite number of solutions. Over 1, slope-intercept looking form. Looking at my inequalities now, the solutions to an inequality. So let's see, in order to find the solution to an inequality, you have to graph them because you have to be able to see the shading, because that is the solution of an inequality. And then the solution is going to be where those inequalities overlap. So if I start here where I have y is greater than or equal to 3x plus 4, I'm going to graph that right here. They've already graphed it for me, but I'm going to start at 4 right here, and then I'm just going to graph my slope, which would be down 3 over 1, down 3 over 1. And since we have greater than or equal to, that's why we have a solid line. And then the next one is y is less than or equal to 3x minus 2. So y-intercept is negative 2, and then my slope again is going to be 3, so I go up 1, 2, over 1, up 1, 2, 3. So it looks like, as you can see, I have a shaded area. This area is shaded over here. The other area is shaded over here, and they don't overlap. So in this case, there's not going to be a solution. There is no solution. Because in order to have a solution to any system of inequalities, they have to have some form of overlap. So when I go and I graph my blue graph here, it is going to be, let's see here, y equals, let me put it in the right color, right here. So we have y equals 3x plus 4. So we have 4 is going to be my y-intercept, and then it's going to be a solid line, and it's going to have a 3 over 1 slope. And then since it's less than, I'm going to make sure that I shade that direction, right? Because when I look at I look at 4, this way is going to be less than, right? All of this side right here. Then I have this other equation, this one. And when I graph it, I start at negative 2, and then I have a dotted line, a dashed line, going at slope of 3 over 1. Now they have the same slope, so they're parallel, but they're actually shaded in different directions because this one is shaded to be greater than. So the point of overlap is going to be between them. That is going to be their solution. Any point that lies within that area is going to be the solution, the overlap. And then here we are going to have the same thing except for our overlap. See, we have our blue solution here, and it is shaded this direction. Then we have our orange solution, which is shaded also, which is shaded this way. So my overlap is going to occur from here this way forever, because that's where those two overlap. So that would be my solution of that. So remember, your overlap is the solution set to an inequality. And we'll graph a couple of those to show it. I want to put it into a... Okay, so it says, how do you graph a two-variable inequality? Well, we should probably be able to graph one before we can graph two together. So, okay, so when dealing with an inequality, the best way to do this is going to be to put it into what would appear to be slope-intercept form. So I can graph it starting at my y-intercept and then working my slope. So in order to get this into slope-intercept form, I'm going to have to move the x to the other side using my inverse operations. And I'm going to have y is going to be less than or equal to negative x plus 3. So I'm going to graph that. I have an inequality as in y equals. So I'm going to graph that at starting at my my y-intercept is going to be 3 and my slope is going to be negative 1. So graphing, I start off at 3 and then I have a negative 1, which is going to be down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. So, and it's going to be a solid line. There we go. So I've begun my inequality now, and that is y is less than or equal to. So it was equal to, so that's why I used a solid line, and when I shade it, I'm going to go less than, which is going to be everything that is under the line is going to be less than. And that is how you graph an inequality. So that is the solution is the inequality cuts the plane in half, and half of it down here is going to be the solution. And if something is over here, that is not a solution. So by looking at this point, 1, 1 is a solution to this system, or to this inequality. If I look at this other one, as an example, of course, first thing I want to do is get it into slope-intercept form. So I subtract x from both sides. And then I have y is going to be greater than or equal to negative x minus 3. So I would graph starting at negative 3 right here. And my slope is going to be negative 1 again. So that's going to be down 1 over 1, or up 1, back 1. And it's going to be a solid line again because it is greater than or equal to. So looking at my line and going from my y-intercept, I'm going to graph those numbers that are greater than or equal to, and that is going to be the stuff above the line, because that is going to be 0 is greater than negative 4. So I just picked a point above. There we go. I picked that point right there and said 0 is greater than, I'm sorry, negative 3. So that's how you graph just a linear inequality. Let's go ahead and solve. Remember that you are going to, so let's look here. So this system, so the solution to this system lies in which quadrant? Okay, well the quadrant we're going to have to remember when we're dealing with a quadrant, it's going to be my graph, and this is going to be, it's in the C form. So right here, my quadrant, 1, 2, 3, 4, those are my quadrants. So now what we can do is we can go ahead and get these two equations in a position where we can graph them. And if we do that, we're going to have to convert them to, for me, slope-intercept form, because that's the easiest way for me to graph. So starting off with that first equation, I have x minus 3y is equal to 6. So I'm going to isolate my variable. By doing that, I'm going to subtract x from both sides, and I am going to end up with negative 3y is equal to negative x plus 6. Divide both sides by the coefficient, and I'm going to have y is equal to 1/3 x minus 2. Okay, so that's going to be one line. And I can go ahead and put that on here. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we start off at -2. And then the slope there is going to be 1 over 3. So I'm going to go up 1 over 3, up 1 over 3. So now I can go over 3, down 1. And that is going to be graphed something like that. Okay? And now my next equation is x plus y equals 2. I'm going to subtract x from both sides to isolate my y, and that is going to be y equals -x plus 2. And again, graphing from starting at my y-intercept of 2, I'm going to go 2. Then I'm going to go down 1, over 1, down 1, over 1, down 1, over 1. And that is going to be my slope, -1. And then right here, my solution is here. And what they were asking you for is what quadrant is my solution in? Well, this is quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. So the solution fell within quadrant 4. So that's simple, just putting it all together and thinking about the coordinate plane. Thing to do. Now that we have done the single linear inequality, we'll graph these together. So it says graph this system. So we have two inequalities. It's going to be y, it's going to be x. Go ahead and make your graph. All right, and then when we graph it, we already said that this equation right here is going to be y is greater than or equal to -x minus 3. And then we have y is less than or equal to -x plus 3. So as I go to graph those, again, if I start with the red, start off at -3, and I'm going to go down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, or up 1, back 1. And that is going to be a solid line. And it said that we are greater than, so I'm going to go ahead and shade it upward. That would be greater than. Okay, so everything above that line would have been a solution there for that inequality. And then go ahead and we'll do the next one. And so again, right here, I'm going to start off at 3, which is right here. And I'm going to go down 1, over 1, down 1, over 1, down 1, over 1, something like that. And it's going to be a solid line again. And its solution is going to be less than or equal to, so everything down here, because it's going to be from the line down. And then now, when I go to graph that, my solution set is going to be everything that falls between those two lines, and including what's on the line because they're solid lines. So that would be solving the solution of a system. And I'll just remind you, when you are graphing these, and maybe I sort of glossed over it, this is less than, this is less than or equal to, this is greater than, this is greater than or equal to. And when you're graphing these on a number line, you would see this as an open circle, this as a closed circle, this as an open circle, and this as a closed circle. So that equates to, when you're graphing a line, this would be a, dashed line. This would make a solid line. This would make a dashed line again because it is not equal. And this would be a solid line when you're graphing on the coordinate plane. All right. And that really puts together graphing solutions. Again, probably